So, what exactly is the heat index? Let's now talk to ABS-CBN's resident meteorologist, Ariel Rojas. Ariel, good morning. And
Good morning,
I know
Vince.
that you will provide more insight into what we just suddenly experienced. Last week, we were just, enjoying this amihan season with the cooler breeze. But suddenly, from 0 to 100, ang init bigla. Ariel, can you tell us more about this?
Yes, to be honest, actually, we're still in the amihan season. There is amihan right now being experienced in the extreme part of northern Luzon. It's just that as we are in the tail end of the amihan season, most of the country, including Metro Manila, Central Luzon, down to Mindanao, are already experiencing the very hot weather. So yung heat index na sinasabi, this is actually just an estimate, an approximation of how our body is actually affected by temperature and the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. So it's not an actual measured value, but an approximation of what the body feels with increasing temperatures and the amount of moisture. So ang cooling mechanism kasi ng katawan natin is to perspire. So when the body perspire, when the perspiration evaporates right away, it provides a cooling effect to our body. But if the atmosphere is actually saturated with moisture, yung perspiration, nahihirapan siyang mag-evaporate, which leads to our body feeling stressed because of the heat. So this is what the heat index is trying to approximate, kung gaano yung level of discomfort ng katawan because hindi siya makapag-evaporate dahil maraming moisture sa hangin.
So, Ariel, if you say na merong approximation, can we put at least a number to that? And
Yes,
if that number is like at a high level, would you say?
Yes. That is why calculations are being made to actually produce the correlation between the temperature and the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, which is the heat index. So again, these are not measured values. May classifications, let's say for 33 to 41 degrees Celsius na heat index, it means that extreme caution should be practiced because a continued exposure to these conditions can actually lead to heat cramps or heat exhaustion. But a higher level is the danger level, which is 42 degrees Celsius to 51 degrees Celsius, which is what was experienced in Dagupan City yesterday. The calculated heat index there was 45 degrees Celsius. But the highest one is the extreme danger category, which is 52 degrees Celsius or higher. Now, there's a caveat for this, no? Kasi pag sinabing 52 degrees Celsius, baka isipin po, temperatura yan sa Middle East or some other desert countries. It's not the case. For the Philippines, 52 degrees Celsius usually is achieved. This heat index is achieved when we have very high relative humidity or moisture in the atmosphere. Some instances are like, bago bumagsak yung ulan, we feel that it's very sultry or malagkit. It's very, very humid. So that's when these types of extreme danger level of heat index are achieved. Kasi ang hangin, kapag mas umiinit, mas naging tuyo. So let's say sa Metro Manila, noong April of 2024, umabot ng 38 degrees Celsius ng temperatura, but yung actual humidity niyan ay mababa. So, nangyayari lang talaga na mataas ang moisture sa hangin kapag nasa around 32 to 34 degrees Celsius yung temperatura. So, it's more of maraming moisture sa hangin than sobrang init ng temperatura.
Ariel, just to simplify it, or at least would you say that it is similar when we look at our weather apps? Is that similar to the term real feel?
Yes. So heat index again is actually just apparent temperature, is not the actual temperature, but it the feels like temperature in Tagalog yung init na nararamdaman ng ating katawan. So it's not measured, it's an approximation.
Yes.
Kasi it varies body to body. So some bodies can actually have high tolerance for high heat index, but for those especially vulnerable population, mga elderly, the pregnant women, and those with heart or other illnesses or conditions, they can feel the impacts of high heat index.
So perhaps the common question of Filipinos is, bakit? Why? Why do we experience this, and what factors have contributed to this, Ariel?
And so as mentioned, yun nga, temperature and humidity. As we are all aware, the Philippines is a tropical country surrounded by lots of big bodies of water. So apart from being near the equator, all year round, we receive the same amount of sunlight. Marami tayong anyong tubig sa palibot, so we have lots of sources of humidity. So it's not only around the months of March, April, and May, yung regular natin na dry season, that we experience very high heat index values, no? All year round, pwede tayong makaranas ng mataas na heat index, especially sa mga lugar dyan sa may Mindanao, like Jensan or Cotabato or even Zamboanga City. So, again, this is normal because of our geography, because of our location near the equator, and we're surrounded by big bodies of water.
Now, when you compare this to the same, when you make your comparisons, Ariel, as meteorologist, you usually compare this year on year, right? So when you compare this from 2024, how does it compare?
Actually, it's kind of parang it falls within the same area, no? Parang precise lang siya. Again, because ang common factor is all year round ay tayo po ay nakakaranas ng pantay na sikat ng araw because we're in the tropics, and then we are surrounded by bodies of water. But between heat index and temperature, it's the temperature that we actually see the increase because of the effect of the climate change and because of natural climate patterns like the El Nino. So better measure of the change in our heat is temperature, not heat index.
All right. So Ariel, also a question: when we make our estimates, or at least when we kind of measure temperatures, usually it's in the northern part, usually in Tuguegarao, right? Or actually here in Manila, it's in the Science Garden, right? But what factors contribute to this? Bakit in that part? Why is it experiencing hotter temperatures?
Actually, it's not because of the latitude or the location in the north or in the south. No, it's actually because of the topography. So Tuguegarao, Cagayan, is actually in a valley. So it's a plain, kapatagan siya, no? So apart from Cagayan Valley, we also have the small plains in Ilocos region, Pangasinan, kapatagan yan, Central Luzon. We have parts of Western Negros, we have Panay, and then we have Sorsogon and Maguindanao provinces. These are all lowlands. The reason why it's hotter in these areas is because of atmospheric pressure. So when you are very low near the ground, mas mabigat doon yung air pressure. And this air pressure is what parang kind of parang sinisiksik niya yung yung hangin, and that actually leads to increase in temperature. So it's hotter in lowlands than in mountainous areas like Baguio City, kung saan din mas magaan yung air pressure.
Lastly, Ariel, what is the forecast? If we are still in the amihan season, technically, it hasn't been declared that it's summer season already. But of course, when you have conversations in Filipino, you would say, mainit na nga ngayon. Paano pa kaya pagdating ng summer, mas mainit pa? What kind of expectations will we look forward to that?
So Pag-asa actually mentioned that we will not be experiencing last year's level of extreme heat, because last year we had a very strong El Nino. So that exacerbated the heat that everyone felt during the dry months. But for this warm and dry season, or colloquially known as summer, this 2025, we will still be experiencing, of course, the hot weather, but it's not gonna be the same as last year. Now, the dry season has not yet been declared because there still is some surge of amihan just felt in the northern parts of Luzon. So for Central Luzon, Manila down to Mindanao will already be toasted with hot weather in the coming days. But again, I think by March 16 to 19, there will still be another amihan surge. So that is actually the first criteria for Pag-asa to declare the onset of the dry season, for the amihan to not be felt anymore. But since we will still be having some short surges of amihan in the coming weeks, then it may be possible that the end of the amihan season and the start of the dry season will be declared by the end of March or the first week of April. But yun nga, malaking bahagi ng Pilipinas will already be experiencing hot weather. So medical experts are reminding the public to first, of course, wear comfortable clothing, to avoid being in direct sunlight, if it's not possible, bring with you some protection like umbrellas or hats or caps, and of course, hydrate, so that the body will not be stressed from the heat.
Thank you very much for your time, our resident meteorologist, Ariel Rojas. Ariel, maraming salamat. It's still going to be a long day for you, but we appreciate that very thorough explanation of what we are experiencing right now.
You're
Maraming
welcome.
salamat,
Always a
Ariel.
pleasure.
Thank you, Ariel.